Hello, this is the Influencers in Accounting podcast. We are thrilled to have with us today an international guest, Joelmy Jaquemart. Hello to you.
Hi, Ross. Thanks for the invite. I'm glad to be here.
It's super to have you with us. It's nice to have an international flavor to our show. Joelmy, for people that have not met you before, tell us what you do and who you work for.
Thank you for the invite. I'm really happy to be here. I'm in France and I work for Gest On Line, which is one of the leading European software providers in the audit industry.
How competitive is the audit space, Joelmy? There's a lot going on in audit right now, isn't there?
Yes, it is, especially with the new technologies coming up. There is a lot of movement in the audit industry, especially in the software industry, which is where we are specialized. So yes, they're very competitive.
Tell us why it's important that audit modernizes right now. We are in some challenging times. Audit is under scrutiny in the big firms and the smaller firms. So why the need to modernize?
Rob, I think that the answer to that question can be summed up in one phrase. Change isn't coming, it's already here. I love that phrase because it's basically that. As more and more organizations undergo digital transformations, auditors should not be left behind. In fact, they cannot afford to. Technology is moving very quickly and is unleashing a tsunami of opportunity and disruption that no one can ignore, particularly in the audit profession. And you must say, why the audit profession? Because the audit profession is approaching a period of intense and far-reaching transformation that is driven by digitization, new regulations coming, innovation, and intelligent data use. So the pandemic has already accelerated the development of virtual audit capabilities, but for some firms, this was already on the table, but it's true that with the COVID-19 pandemic, this has significantly increased the pace. So as this digital technology and data analysis becomes increasingly central to the audit process, audit firms will require more diverse range of skills. So what they used to do is that auditors and audit firms have traditionally recruited people with business background, but in the future, and actually now, because it's happening now, auditors will need an increased level of technological understanding.
I'm glad you bring up the pandemic because a lot of people ask, is the pandemic accelerating things that were already happening in audit? So now they're happening faster, or is it changing what is happening in audit significantly?
It does. This is actually what I'm explaining because for some friends, and we see it with our clients, with our prospect, some firm has already were considering to go online before the pandemic, but the pandemic really accelerated the thing. It was a need for auditors and their team members to be able to work remotely. So they were calling us, okay, I need a cloud-based solution to be able to work, to communicate with our teams and our clients specifically. So yes, this accelerated things.
Audit people are not known for being able to handle change very well. Accountants generally struggle with change. They've done the same thing the same way for many, many years. How coachable, teachable, changeable do you feel audit professionals are as a breed, as a group?
I think that this is interesting. This is a really interesting question because what I can say is that setting a line of sight and transforming, innovating, and becoming more future focused is not easy for a profession that has historically been reliant on traditional methodology, long trusted point solutions, and conventional thinking. So it is a real challenge for auditors now because auditing at the speed of change is a critical transformational challenge for auditors. And I know that there are some of them that are a little bit skeptic to modernize, but it's not what I'm saying. Either you're a leader and you embrace change, or you just watch it happen because it's already happening.
Yes, and it's frightening for the professional firms and audit professionals that do not change, that are thinking this will pass over or everything will go back to how it was. What will happen to those people that are unwilling or unable to make the changes necessary?
Yeah, I think, Rob, that the future of accountancy and audit is no longer about transactional number crunching, but about the sound judgments that can only be made from better quality data And how do you get better quality data? With technology. So the days when auditors simply focus on financial reporting and compliance with accounting and audit standards have passed. To serve organizations well and conduct high quality audits, tomorrow's auditors will need to be digitally adept. The profession is more demanding. Clients are more demanding. There's more pressure on auditors. We know that. Therefore, to meet to the audit demands of the futures, audit firms and individual auditors will need to embrace change and review the ways they're working, because firm culture is changing, teams are evolving, and technology is taking an important place in this new firm culture by providing, of course, critical insights.
Of course. I'd like to ask you about Gest On Line in a moment and what you do there, but talk to us about how technology is changing audit.
Technology is really revolutionizing the audit practice. There are a lot of technologies out there. There are a large number of solutions and technologies that are simply making audit easier. So the key ones that we see that our clients are demanding more and are using more, for example, the cloud. The cloud is a key technology now. Why? Because you can perform your work virtually anywhere. What is interesting to know is that for some auditors that used to have, for example, a desktop solution and say, okay, with the pandemic, we really need to go online, go for web to be able to work remotely. And once that they had that, they come up to say, well, okay, well, we still need to work offline. So it's really challenging because as a software provider, you need to anticipate the demands and the requests of the clients, because they are up to solutions, up to, for example, go full web, go to the cloud, but they still need to have the possibility to work offline on desktop, for example. There's also data analytics that gives practitioners the ability to analyze entire population of data. And also AI, it's being used a lot in audit now. So this is really helping auditors to automate complex and repetitive tasks and processes. And of course, robotic process automation, etc. A lot of technologies now are more are coming, because as I said, technology is evolving very quickly. So we'll see new technology coming.
And I'm thinking the old ways of doing audit, you showed up to the client's factory or premises or offices, you spent some days, some time there, you did the stock taking, you asked all the questions, you got all of your information, you needed to be on site, but those days have gone now. Definitely,
Rob. And this is why some of auditors are still accepted to adopt a new technology, because they believe that for their clients, and this is not what I'm saying that it's not important to be on site, because there are still some parts of the audit process that you will need to go on site and see your client. And it's important to keep that contact, personal contact with your client. But automating the audit process can actually give you a lot of opportunity. And for example, all those tasks that are manually, that takes you a lot of time, can be done automatically and save a lot of time to your audit teams and make them concentrate in the most important issues of the audit process. For example, trying to understand better your client's industry, what your clients need, and focus more in this part than in these manually tasks that are really time consuming.
Tell us the story about Gest On Line. You're an award-winning company now, aren't you, Joelmy?
Yes, we are. So Gest On Line was created in the year 2000. So it's been more than 20 years now, by Ludovic Aspa, who was by then a chartered accountant. And he decided, okay, I'm gonna launch my own audit solution to automate the audit process. And this is what he did. And he launched Revis Audit. This is our leading product in the French-speaking countries. And he has been making auditors' life easier with automation. We decided to go international with the success that we have in the French-speaking countries and the expertise, because our solutions I created by auditors for auditors. So this is really important. And we launched 2 solutions for the international market, make sure that they are compliant with the international standards of auditing. And it's been challenging years to develop it because of the COVID, but we are there. We've been developing the UK market and participating in different events in the UK. We were at Accountancy in May. So yes, our ambition is that to continue our development, continue in the international market, in the UK, English-speaking countries, then of course Spanish-speaking countries, because our product is also translated in Spanish. So yes, we are ambitious. We know that there is a lot of opportunity coming for the audit profession. So we're still to stay up to date and up for the latest technologies.
Yes, and I saw you at Accountex. We interviewed you live there. It's Europe's biggest accounting and fintech event. That interview will be coming out on our UK Matters in Accounting show, which comes out on a Friday. So do subscribe to that and you'll hear Joelmy talking live at the event. It's very difficult for accounting firms, professionals, auditors to choose technology. All of the vendors have an agenda. There is an overwhelming amount of choice. They have decisions to make on what the software, the platform already integrates with. Talk to us about some of the decisions that they have to make in making the right tech choices.
I love that question because I really insist a lot with our client prospect about this aspect. It is, for me, the earliest stages when you try to implement a software or not a solution is communication is paramount. When implemented a software solution. Why? Because this is how you will discover areas of opportunity where value-added solutions can be developed for the audit process, for example, as this is our domain. Even before contacting the vendor to ask them about a product, you should communicate with your staff. It's paramount. Why? Because you need to involve them in the process by asking them, what problems do you have? What takes most of the time on your audits? What's highly repetitive or what requires a lot of data entry, for example? Why? Because this is how you're going to discover what are the needs of your audit teams and how you can develop this solution and how these solutions are going to help you. And then when you come to the vendor, you're going to say, okay, we need this, because there are a lot of technologies out there. It is not because firms are using a type of technology that this technology is going to suit your firm. So you just need to be sure what are the needs of your audit teams. You don't have to start big. You can start small with the basic technology, and then go and add more. And another advice for firms that will be adopting technology for the first time, because it's a big challenge to go paperless. It's what I'm saying. Do not try to take the most complex solution out there. Just start small, start testing. Pilots are really important. Just be sure that you complete your pilot process before acquiring an audit solution. It's very important.
Yes, and we're going to try something a little different here, Joelmy. I'm going to ask you one question that I'd like you to answer in English and then in Spanish.
Oh my God.
The reason for that is because I know you speak many languages. We have an international podcast here.
Yes,
obviously
great.
Martin Bissett, my host, and I, we speak English and we're very lazy at languages here in England, but we must have, I know we have listeners in Spanish speaking countries all over the world. So I'm going to ask you about the tools and the techniques that the really good auditors are using in their everyday practice right now. So obviously I'm putting you on the spot with this question, but if you could answer that first in English and then give us an answer in Spanish, we'll put it into the show. And hopefully people that speak Spanish will tell us how great it was that we embraced an international language. So tell us in English first, please, about the tools and techniques that the best auditors are using right now in their everyday practice.
So I said, Rob, is the key technologies are out there now that auditors are more demanding and using their, as I said, a cloud-based solution. You need to be on the cloud to be able to communicate, to work anywhere, everywhere, to exchange with your clients. Clients portals are a must now. For example, be able to exchange document with your client, communicate in real time with your clients. It's been really important, especially after COVID. Data analytics, firms are more and more demanding because this gives them the ability to analyze an entire population of data in areas of risk, artificial intelligence, RPA for robotic process automation. Why? Because it's very efficient. Why? Because robots work 24/7. So they do what they are programmed to do, so they don't make mistakes that human might make in areas involving large quantity of data. So this can dramatically reduce the number of hours auditors must spend annually in many areas and focus more on value-added tasks. So I just think that there are a lot of technologies out there. What I just need to make sure and just that is important is that it's important to state that all of these technology benefits is not intended to replace the human in the audit, because as I said, there is the human qualities of evaluation, analysis, and judgment that remains irreplaceable, and they are part of the audit process. So just technology can give the people on an audit the ability to focus on those high level skills rather than getting bogged down with mundane rote processes.
Very good. Y en español, por favor.
En español. Bueno, vamos a ver cómo sale. Bueno, Rob, hay muchas tecnologías que se ofrecen a los auditores hoy en día. Las principales que se utilizan actualmente son, por ejemplo, trabajar en la nube, que te da la oportunidad de poder trabajar donde quiera que estés y comunicar con tus clientes, intercambiar documentos, etcétera. El análisis de datos, que te da también la oportunidad de analizar una gran cantidad de datos y una gran cantidad de población y las áreas de riesgo específicamente. La inteligencia artificial también, que te permite automatizar tareas más complexas y repetitivas en el proceso de auditoría, y hay muchísimas más que son tecnologías que te permiten automatizar todas estas tareas diarias que son largas, que toman mucho tiempo y que ahora, hoy en día, la puedes automatizar muy fácilmente.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Gracias.
People watching the video when it comes out on YouTube will see me nodding as I'm pretending to understand everything that you're saying, but that was superb. Thank you so much for jumping into a very different language. And let's finish with a few more questions here. There are challenges with audit right now. If they're making the decision to adopt digital transformation, to innovate, to get ahead of the game, talk to us about some of those challenges in English, please.
So as I said, that getting digital for a profession, as I was saying earlier, that has been historically reliant on traditional methodology is really a big challenge. And auditing at the speed of change is a critical transformational challenge for auditors. At a time when firms are struggling to handle workloads and dealing with a shortage of skilled people, finding the time to implement technology is one of the biggest challenges to adoption. Also, at firms where compensation is based strictly on billable hours, for example, the challenge is greater because there's no reward for spending time trying to innovate in a way that will make the whole firm more effective and efficient. So for example, what firms can do is, oh, okay, why not awarding bonus compensation for successful innovations, for example? So there are a lot of challenges out there. Audit firms will require more people with significant expertise, and as I was saying, they will need to recruit, sorry for that, people with technological skills, for example, and to enable them to leverage technology effectively for audit purposes. So clients increasingly expect more. Audit professionals must continually acquire new skills and up their game to meet the rising bar on audit quality, because of course the audit quality still needs to stay high. And there is the regulation, because the regulation is changing and evolving, so auditors need to adapt to that as well. So I think that's it, and that clients will settle for nothing less. So
And why should auditors, accounting firms reach out to Gest Online and talk to you, Joelmy? How are you a little bit better or different than other solutions out there?
We take the time to listen to our clients. That's why I said that I like the question that you asked earlier, because we want to make sure that clients feel supported, because it's a big challenge, especially for firms that are adopting technology for the first time. Going digital, it's a big challenge. So we try to be there, listen to them, make them know that they are supported, because they need that. They need to be accompanied when they are in the process of implementing an audit solution, for example. So I think that's the key for a successful implementation, and we are aware of that. So this is why we support our clients and make sure that the process is going. We are going to be with them from A to Z in the process.
Yes, excellent. We'll put your contact details and links to your company site and LinkedIn into the show notes for here, Joelmy. And one last question to finish. Tell us what is coming up in audit over the next few years. It's changing rapidly, as you say, but there are many opportunities that technology can give to auditors.
I think, Rob, as you say, technology is moving really quickly. There are a lot of opportunity for the auditors. Regulation is changing as well. Companies' business models are growing more complex as they move through digital transformation as well. So this is placing new demands on audit professionals. Also, the different technologies process we've been talking about will inevitably be challenging for some people, while others will welcome that with all arms wide open. But if audit firms can navigate this transition effectively, there is every chance that audit professionals will flourish in the new environment and find that the digital transformation makes their work more meaningful and brings them in an increased sense of professional purpose.
Well, Joelmy Jaquemart from Gest Online, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for your inspiration and your insights today. That's been terrific.
Gracias a ti. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.